Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and now I have the new focus. This is the Sublime focus that y'all have been waiting for. I know a lot of people already did their videos. I have 16 balls to review this week, so we're going to be doing this one right now. I've got the same layout on this that I put on that Ion Max, so it's 45 by 5 by 45. And you saw just how strong that Ion Max was. So now we'll take this Sublime out, and you probably saw this one a little bit too during that review. But now we're going to take this one out, a symmetrical solid, a symmetrical strong ball, and we're going to see what this one's got. So we're going to start a little bit further right, we're going to move our way left, and we'll see what it's got here in a minute, so stay tuned. All right, here we go. Now we got the Sublime Focus, and just like normal, we start a little bit straighter and we see what it's got, and we move our way left, see what we have to do rotation-wise to figure out how to get the ball to strike. So I always start with my feet on 20, and I'm always targeting that 9, 10, 11 range, usually hitting 11 or 12-ish. Got that one going a little bit right off my hand, but it's still, you could definitely see the strength of this ball. This ball, just like the Ion Max, very strong. Ion Max eventually started floating through there a little bit better. And I don't know if maybe it was just that core kind of losing some energy, but here, I'll show you right away. Since we're here and I've got it, let's throw the Ion Max in that same general area. You see how that one kind of just hook stops? That's the difference between symmetrical and asymmetrical a lot of the times. A lot of the times these big asymmetric cores can get the ball to kind of see the friction and go forward, whereas stuff like the Sublime, which is a symmetrical bowling ball, will continue off of it. So when you throw it over there, it actually looks like it hooks more, and it's just a different shape. It doesn't necessarily hook more. See, so it hits the dry and it just continues around the corner, which is something that I like to see a little bit more. When they're tough, I like to see the ball kind of hook stop a little bit, but honestly, when do we ever see the lanes be that tough anymore? So Sublime Focus is generally the direction you want to go. So I'm going to move 5 left, feet on 25, trying to cross that 13, 14, 15 area. And you can see, I love, if I have to choose already, based off of just 3 shots that I've thrown, if I got to choose between this and the Ion Max, I'm choosing this one all day long. Not because the Ion Max is bad, it's just because this one fits my eye a little bit better. This one fits what I look for in ball motion. So let's move 5 more left here now. And I'll start to rotate it just a little bit because now we're changing directions a little bit more. See how this one almost never looks like it goes, it doesn't do that type of motion. It's more of like a continuous, strong arcing motion. That's what we like to see. At least that's what I like to see. Now, sometimes that's not what you need. Sometimes you need this Ion Max. Sometimes you need, in that spot, a ball that's going to be just a little bit stronger and a little bit more stoppy. See, something like that, where if you're trying to hit like a half pocket zone, the swish zone or something like that, where you want the ball to stop and set up in the pocket, that's the type of ball you would go to. For me, it's not very often that I need to do that. And the reason for it is because my natural release is already more forward, so I already get the ball started earlier and slowing down a little bit quicker. So I don't need to have a ball that slows down for me. A lot of the times the asymmetric balls are really good for people that rotate it a lot, because then that ball, then the core starts to help it slow down a little bit and you use up some of that rotation. You saw the Ion Max really liked when I rotated it a little bit more. When I could get my hand to spin around the side of it, that ball then it liked it got through the pins a lot better for me. I'm a more natural up the back kind of guy, so it's those balls generally don't match up for me as well. All right, so see now this one, even though that's still the similar shape, this is that same zone where the Ion Max kind of was like, started to puke on me. And it was like, no, I'm not gonna hook fast enough. I'm gonna use up, make you use a ton of rotation. So here, I mean, all I have to do now, I don't have to rotate it more on this. This one just needs to be slowed down a little bit, because that one just waited too far down the lane before it started to make its motion. So I'm just gonna slow down a pinch. Get into that light switch. That didn't actually look very good, but you can see it still got there. You know, it still got to the pocket, got the light switch zone, didn't hook enough early. If it did, it was probably a little bit too forward, so maybe it does need to see a little bit more rotation. So I'll rotate it a little bit this time, but I'll have to still stay slow because we don't want it to get too far down the lane. Yeah, see, there you go. So now we see a lot better motion, just a little bit more rotation. And again, a lot of the rotation stuff, it's based on what kind of angle you're trying to use. How steep are you through the front? Are you trying to throw it really far to the right? Because if you're trying to get your break point to like 5-6, you've got to have more rotation, because that's further that the ball has to travel to get back to the pocket. So if we go more left, that just means I have to have more rotation and maybe even slow down just a little bit more to make sure the ball hooks soon enough. Yeah, see, that one didn't feel like I quite rotated it enough, because that one used up its energy pretty quick, but it is what it is. Again, these are strong bowling balls. Now, I wouldn't say that these are bowling balls that I would recommend trying to go around the lane like this with. A lot of the times you're going to be using these on fresher conditions, a little bit straighter, not necessarily going this far left. So in order to strike, it's got to hook a little bit sooner, or it's got to be rotated more, or both. Okay, so that's just a little slower with a little bit more rotation to get it to really, to preserve some of that rotation. So I don't want to use the words that they use in Bowl U that we learn, but to get it to basically use up a little bit less rotation. Start with higher rotation so it finishes with, you know, a little bit more at the end. Slow down a little bit to get it to hook a little bit sooner. All you got to remember is rotation around the side of the ball is just going to get the ball, it's going to change the direction left or right. And the ball speed and how much you rev it up or whatever is going to make it hook in the front with surface. You know, surface is what's going to make it hook earlier. Or speed. All right, let's get up against the ball return. So this is where I'm going to have to continue to really rotate it. Lots of rotation, just nice, smooth, archy motion you still see. It's not hitting the dry and going left. It's not hitting the dry and going forward. This is that symmetrical ball that smooths out. This is what we like to see. These are the types of shapes I like. I have a lot better chance of using a ball like this going around the lane and rotating it than I do, you know, that Ion Max. So let's get in front of the ball return, throw one more. See what it does in here with my spin biscuit release. Okay. So that's what we're looking for. So being able to get the ball to do different things is very, very essential to whether you're a decent bowler or not, whether you can compete on tougher conditions and whether you actually know what you're doing. And it's hard, but it takes a lot of practice and repetition and trust in your ability to be able to do these different things. So with this Sublime focus, you can see with that symmetrical core, much smoother, more archy type of motion than what you saw out of the Ion Max. That's why I love it, and I would choose this one over the Ion Max. But maybe you have a little bit lower rev rate and you need the help, or maybe you are more around the ball and you rotate it a lot, so you need the help of that core as well. Then you need to go get yourself an Ion Max. But I think these balls will complement each other really well, because having a big ASM with a big symmetrical like this, you can't really ask for much better. You get both ends of the spectrum covered when it comes to your slower type of bowling balls or your earlier rolling type of bowling balls. So make sure to hit the link in the description, BowlerX.com down here. Get yours today. Bring it up here, BowlerX Pro Shop and Training Center in Waterford, Michigan. I'll drill it up for you. I'll find your PAP for you, and we'll get you one. So that's all I got for you. Make sure to head over to EasyBowlingStats.com. Sign up for your free account to where you get all your stats on there, and you can also get the premium account where you get AI introduced, and it teaches you all about your game. It basically becomes a ball rep for you as you input all your data. So head over to EasyBowlingStats.com. Get your account set up there. And until next time, I'm out of here. We'll see you guys later.